Why don't you explain kind of the layers, right? So there's hardware, there's Hadoop, there's cascading. What is cascading, right?
Yeah.
And then how did you guys get to building Scalding on top of that, and what are the benefits? And
so I think Cascading is a great piece of software. I'll kind of introduce it from, I don't know if I should just erase. I'll erase with my hand. We'll leave some of these around. But so if you're going to build a cluster to do some computation, no one would do that anymore, right? They would go to Amazon or whatever. But you would have the machines. They have little keyboards there, because it's 1972, and they all
they all make two, huh? Apple IIs.
Exactly. They're running some operating system. They have some disks there. They're running
Windows,
Linux, Windows, whatever you like. Yeah. But now we want to use them all together to solve one large problem. And so we want to take this picture here that we drew, this abstract picture, and make it concrete. So on each of these machines now is running this software, Hadoop, right? That's the kind of the lingua franca of... Is there a German equivalent to that?
To Hadoop?
To lingua franca?
I'm not sure. You maybe would say the golden standard or something.
Okay,
something along
definitely not lingua franca.
No,
no,
we're not that sophisticated.
So Hadoop took this. I guess it was really the Google paper, and it was a re-implementation of that. It was a good idea, and they did it in Java. So that's great. Java's
like Carafella and Cutting took basically the paper. And Carafella is our professor at, I forgot, Michigan maybe.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Is he? Most likely, I'm wrong. Oh, Seattle, Washington. I think he's at Washington. Yeah.
Very cool. So Hadoop gave us an implementation of this MapReduce model, but it still was really focused. And I mean, I don't really remember the timeline. You may know better. It was focused on single MapReduce pairs.
Yeah.
And a lot of calculations are interesting, can be written as a single MapReduce pair.
Yeah.
If you want to know how many times a word appeared on a web page, great.
But then if you chain them together, it's becoming really messy.
Right. If you want to work with graphs, if you want to work with any kind of iterative machine learning, then you're going to have to go with more than one. If you think of MapReduce as a message passing kind of thing, this is like the shuffle phase is where you do the message passing, right? So that's the only time you can do messaging. And so if that's the only time you can do messaging, you can think of the class of algorithms you can do with MapReduce as, with one phase, as the kind of the one message pass algorithms.
Right.
So everybody wants to do more than that. And for a long time, people just made their own ways of doing this. So they'd schedule one job, they'd wait for it to finish, they'd go to the next.
Right, and you manage all the files in between, and it's a big...
Right. So what I like to say, it's kind of like you have to pitch a startup, like it's like Uber for blah for blah. So, so I don't know if this helps, but Cascading is like LLVM for Hadoop, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So LLVM is like we're going to give an intermediate representation of code that if you want to make a compiler, you can target this intermediate representation, and then we can compile that down to various chips, whatever. Right. And like that's the way I like to view cascading, or at least one layer of cascading. Yeah. And so cascading, if you target it, it has some notions of like mapping functions, grouping, reductions, but they can be chained in a large graph. So you can do this job's running over here, it does some grouping, now we consume both of these, and we're building a very large graph, maybe 90 or more MapReduce phases.
Right.
And Cascading manages all that. If it fails, it backs the whole thing out. So it's a graph DAG management.
Right.
It does it very well. It's been used for a few years. It's not perfect, but it's very, very good. It's high quality.
Yeah, great. Kudos to Chris Wenzel then, yeah?
Kudos to Chris. Thank you, Chris.